Greetings, my lovelies. This is Blake here, and welcome to my review of The Martian, Ridley Scott's newest movie that stars Matt Damon. So, when I first saw the trailer for this, my immediate reaction was it looks like a deleted scene from Interstellar. No, my immediate thoughts was this looks like it's going to be really good, but I'm not necessarily counting the days until its release. I'm not that eager to check it out. And as the release date approached, I was looking through what's coming out this coming month, and nothing else was being released to sort of rival The Martian. So I figured, well, I'll probably go ahead and see that film opening weekend. And then it occurred to me though that this is technically the third movie I've seen this week, since I watched Attack on Titan and Green Inferno, and I kind of realized that maybe I did really want to see The Martian because it's getting very positive word of mouth. And I could have always put Green Inferno here if I really wanted to. And I realized that, I just wanted to see a really good movie. And, there have been films that have come out in the past month that I've liked, but I don't know if I could say they're good with confidence. And I could say that The Martian is good with confidence. Everything about it just worked for me. I thought the characters were all endearing and interesting. I liked how there was no real villain. Really, if there is a villain, it's just the circumstances these characters constantly encounter. But I was thinking, based on the trailer, that Jeff Daniels was going to be the human antagonist, the obstructive bureaucrat who will just get in everybody's way. But he's really not. He's just as invested in bringing Matt Damon's character home as everybody else. He has to make a lot of tough decisions, and so you do sympathize with the character. You always understand where he's coming from, but he's definitely not the bad guy. But the beauty of the character writing is that this isn't a deep character understudy. We never learn a whole lot about their backstories. We only know who they are based on how they react to whatever situation they're facing. And that gave the actors quite a bit to do. They show a lot of emotion, and they reveal the kind of people they are, just through this. And I thought that really worked within the context of this story. If they had gone too deep, I think that would have really killed the pacing. But at the same time, it goes a lot farther than most popcorn flicks would. And the acting is great all around. Everybody plays their roles incredibly well. Like, I was kind of weirded out by a few casting choices, like Kristen Wiig. But yeah, she did really good too. She never took me out of the movie. But everybody gets at least one or two moments to really stand out, and I enjoyed just watching everyone interact. I thought all the actors had really good chemistry together, and I almost wanted more from everybody just because they were that interesting. And yet at the same time, I never felt like I was being shortchanged. Like this film needed more of everybody. It gave me enough to where I was satisfied. This movie is very fast paced for a 2.5 hour long movie. Or I shouldn't say it's fast paced, but it's evenly paced. It never lost me. I was never bored. I never felt like they needed to really trim anything down. It always kept me invested, and I probably should talk a little bit about Matt Damon's character. And this is why I don't think that this is a character understudy. It's that, yeah, you're seeing how he's reacting to the situation just like everybody else's, but anytime they could have really given a true bottom to this character, it's usually off screen. So, like, he'll be fine one moment, and then like 7 months later, it'll cut to, and he's like kind of unhinged, unshaven, sort of like me, but and he's just a little loopy. Now, I kind of would have wanted to see, the actual breaking point there, and they don't go too far with this, but he's not like outright insane. I kind of wanted that breaking point, but at the same time, this movie did not really need it without once again killing the pace. And Matt Damon is just so good in this role. You know, every time I start to think that Matt Damon isn't that great of an actor. I think he's a good actor, but he plays the same kind of role in most of his movies. He'll always come out with a film that totally just reminds me that, yeah, when he wants to, he could turn in a phenomenal performance. But for the most part, the running time is based around him trying to survive. But it's not just one of those movies like All Is Lost with Robert Redford, or some of these survival films that's very slow, and that's just, there's very little dialogue. Nah, this film is adapted for a mainstream audience, so there's a lot of funny moments. There's a lot of good lines. He has a lot of good reactions, and you know, even though like he's explaining how all of this science works, and it doesn't always make sense to me because I'm pretty dumb. I'm not going to understand how any of this shit works. The way he delivers these lines still makes them entertaining. And so, yeah, you're laughing, and then, you know, you're with the character when he makes some major accomplishment. You know, it's very exciting and very rewarding. And then when something goes wrong, it's very terrifying. You fear for him, and the film just has such a nice balance. So where, yeah, it never lost me. Then at home, you have, you know, everybody trying to, you know, construct their own plans in order to rescue him. And same thing, you know, you're with them during their successes and you feel terrible when they have their failures. And the only issue I could see with The Martian is there's no real high moments that I think will stay with me for a very long period of time. Like Gravity, for example, with Sandra Bullock. That film had a lot of high moments that continue to resonate with me. So I'll probably remember it for many years on hand without even having to watch the movie itself. Even Interstellar, which I actually think is overall an inferior movie to The Martian, has those moments that just are very iconic and memorable. I'm not sure if The Martian has anything like that. On the other hand, The Martian doesn't have a lot of the failings of Interstellar. It has no moment where you're just kind of rolling your eyes at a character's really dumb speech or really dumb decision. Yeah, Interstellar had some questionable writing. And furthermore, the Interstellar really felt like it was a long movie. It did occasionally lose me. It did drag on for too long at times. The Martian, I think, is a much better paced film, but that's the one thing. It doesn't have that iconic moment that I think is going to have this film stay within our memories for a long period of time. I don't like 2001: A Space Odyssey, but even I will admit that so much of that movie is just so memorable. It's legendary. I saw that film once, like 15 years ago, and so much of it has, you know, stayed with me over the years. But The Martian, I don't think so. However, I did think that this film was visually appealing. It's very nice to look at. You know, Mars is pretty much a desert wasteland, but Ridley Scott did an excellent job of making it look really cool. Despite that, I thought the cinematography was great. I don't know where they filmed it or if they just constructed some very elaborate sets, but I felt like I was on Mars, and I was wowed by its appearance. And the special effects in general are very convincing. If there was any off moments within the CGI, I was so immersed in the story that I never noticed any of them. However, no, actually I should take that back, because if there were truly any off moments within the CGI, that would have killed the illusion, and I would not been so immersed into what was going on. So I'd like to think I would have caught something that was either bad or subpar within the visual effects. Anything else I could say? Well, there's one major complaint directed at The Martian that actually does have some validity. The film's sense of humor, for many viewers, really disrupted the tone. I understand where they are coming from because Matt Damon's character says and does a lot of funny things throughout the entire duration of the film, whether things are looking up for him or whether things have turned dire. Whether it's appropriate or not, Matt Damon's constantly trying to be funny. However, I politely disagree with this criticism because I saw it more as a character quirk. Whenever he's nervous, angry, scared, that's just how he responds. He responds with humor. Whether it's done to comfort himself or, the people around him, or that's just maybe his way of reacting to things, of controlling the situation, that's up to debate. But the reason why I believe this is because during the finale, where everything's on the line, this is the part where he either gets rescued or he dies. He's still saying and doing silly stuff. However, he sounds really, really scared while doing so. It's not just like, he seems like his normal self, like he seems calm and collected. I mean, he's calm enough because he is a professional, but he does sound visibly nervous. But that doesn't stop him from saying these lines. But at the same time, you do hear like the quiver in his voice while he says something, awkward and funny. So that didn't bother me. Like with Green Inferno, I didn't feel it was so much the characters as much as the director kind of forcing his sense of humor onto his audience, and it just totally ruined the impact of the scene. So you'd have somebody get their eyes gouged out, cut limb from limb, and then roasted and eaten alive, followed immediately by some stupid line that just sort of ruins the moment. That film took it too far to where, it did really screw up the tone. But with The Martian, I thought its sense of humor made sense within the context of that character. So that's really all I have to say. The Martian is really good all around. It's very well written, acted, directed, edited, scored. The special effects are exceptional. Watch it. Definitely go to the theaters and watch it. Even if you're not paying as much, like you're going to a cheaper theater or just doing a matinee showing instead of paying the full price. It deserves your attention. So that is all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video. I did not do a written review, but I have done written reviews of Green Inferno, Attack on Titan, and I'm sure I've done reviews on other things. House of Traps. My next one will probably be Star Wars Episode 3, but I haven't decided yet. Follow me on Facebook, especially if you want to read my WWE wrestling reviews, Twitter, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I shall see you guys later.